This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, good day, everyone, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Wednesday, January the 3rd, 2024, our first edition of AMPM for this new year. Coming up a little later in the program, I'll talk precision agriculture with John Deere's Matt Olson. We'll also take a look at that ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
We're at the end of another trading day, and it is time to talk with Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. And Tyler, with the exception of cattle yesterday, nothing got off to a great start for the year. How did things shake out today and start with those grains?
We're seeing a little bit of a movement back higher, not anything to get too excited about here. You're going to see corn and the March contract close up about $0.015 to $0.0125. The rest of them anywhere from unchanged to up $0.25 to down $0.25. Beans took it on the chin the hardest yesterday. It's always a little unnerving to come in the first of the year and get kind of a sell-off like that. The one, if you could call it a bright side, some of the areas that we had identified as kind of some significant support held yesterday, and they've continued to hold today. That doesn't mean that I'm telling you markets are going to go screaming higher. Just offers a little bit of support. The light volume into the end of the year, coupled with the South American forecast has changed. They've gotten some decent rains over the last week, and now it's just more of the same debate that we've been talking about for a while. How much damage has already been done, and does this rain that they're getting or that they got last week really change anything?
And it's kind of the same thing we went through all summer. We weren't getting any rain. It's how much and how strong are those hybrids going to be for the tolerance and using what they can get the most efficiency. I mean, Brazil has obviously they've learned how to catch up to us in production and even surpass us sometimes in production. So I mean, those hybrids are accessible to them as well.
They are. They've got good hybrids. The big difference, I would say, is just soil quality. There's two caveats there, and basically it's an argument on both sides. I'm going to be that economist that talks out of both sides of my mouth here. On the one hand, they don't have the type of soil structure that we do that can hold water and get them through dry periods like we can in the U.S. On the second side of that, that's why soybeans do so well down there, is because they typically get a lot of rain. And so, it's what I can tell you is they don't need normal, quote, normal rains in order to produce a decent crop. They can produce a decent crop with less than normal rains. What I can't tell you is how much less. And the data shows in some areas of some major soybean producing areas, they've had the absolute driest, if not the driest, one of the three driest October through Decembers that they've seen in history. So, we don't really, kind of like last year, there was a lot of debate in the U.S. as to how that drought was going to affect that crop. There's a lot of unknowns. It seems like right now the market is pricing it in as a known and that the crop's there. I would guess as we move forward, we'll see a little bit more volatility creep back into that soybean market. Kind of like, just remember, we saw this same thing in June. We saw this market really rally strong off the dry U.S. weather. We caught a few rains. We fell hard, and then we kind of caught our second leg there in July. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see something like that coming in the near future.
Moving over to the livestock side of things, I know yesterday cattle, boy, it was like they got shot out of a cannon. They were the bright spot of the marketplace yesterday. Everybody was talking about it. Is this the turnaround? Is this going to be a sign of things to come? Today, a little more subdued, but they still had a pretty decent day, at least in the feeders, correct?
Yeah, we're going to close. Well, we did close up in the nearby feeders. Some of the back month contracts were slightly, we're down just a little bit. You know, the story really hasn't changed that much. Cattle numbers are tight. There are some stories of packers out there kind of beating down doors trying to find some cattle. There's some people trying to tell us that you know, the cattle are getting harder to find again, like a lot of folks were saying there when we got those cattle on feed reports that were so negative to the market in October and November. Coming down the line, you know, basically what we were doing is just pulling placements forward. We're now reaching a time period where you know, it's tough to find harvest ready cattle. It's tough to find cattle to fill those feedlots. Some of the issue in the feedlot world or the cattle feeder, the feeder cattle is that index has gone really wonky over the last few days with virtually no sales there the week between Christmas and New Year's. We saw that feeder calf index shoot up about $10. My guess is that's going to cool off here a little bit over the next few days.
Now, hogs on the other side of it, you know, yesterday, boy, they looked like they just got bloodied again, and they've been getting – now they haven't had a good – well, 23 really honestly wasn't a great year. They had a few bright spots in the summer, but all in all, not a great year, and we're still in some trouble with as far as supply goes. We saw a little bit of a gain, I think, earlier today. Did that hold for the close, and is this a little bit of a bounce, or do you think it's just kind of a holding onto a ledge or something they could grab onto?
Yeah, you know, we did hold for a little bit. We shot up, came back. We were actually down about another $1 for a while. We actually closed basically unchanged on the day in the February contract. I can tell you we did a lot of chart damage to the hogs from a technical standpoint. You've also got really heavy weights and probably what some would say burdensome supplies going forward. So I think major market moves in the hog market are being tough to come by in the form of a rally here, at least for the first half of this year. Like I said, you just got big weights. Production was really strong over the last year. So we just got a lot of supply to chew through. So it'll be interesting to see how they trade. You know, the one thing I will say with that big sell-off yesterday went right down to kind of that downward trending channel, some support that talked about we saw in corn and beans, bounced off of that support. It held again today. So there might be a little bit of a push higher here for a few days. I wouldn't look for just massive rallies. If you're a hedger, I would be looking at some opportunities to get some sales booked. So nothing real exciting there. Don't look for hogs to be back in the $100 range anytime soon.
All right. Well, Tyler, thanks so much for the insight. And of course, if folks want to pick your minds there at agmarket.net, what's the best way for them to get the ball rolling there?
Go to the website, agmarket.net. You can look up, see if there's a broker in your area. We got brokers from North Dakota all the way down to Kentucky.
All right. Well, Tyler, thanks so much. And we'll talk to you again real soon.
You bet. Take care, Dustin.
That again was Tyler Schau of agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and take a look at the closing numbers on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network market screen.
Well, as we take a look at the forecast today, again, we saw mostly cloudy skies, a few peaks of sun here and there across the state. There was more of a chance of flurries in the northeast, but that should taper off as the evening goes on. Highs today were in the low to mid-30s, even up to about 38 degrees. Now tonight, look for variably cloudy skies, but still mostly cloudy across much of the state. Flurries will diminish, and we'll see low temperatures anywhere from 15 to 22 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny to start the day in the west, mostly sunny in the east. Temperatures will range anywhere from the upper 20s to the mid-30s. Looking at the affiliate weather map for you, Cherokee tomorrow, partly sunny 29, Shenandoah partly sunny and 36, Des Moines partly sunny 33, Waterloo sunny and 32, Albia sunny and 34, and Clinton looks to be mostly sunny and 33 degrees.
And that's been a check of our market recap. We're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association. When we come back, we get an update on how Precision Ag performed for John Deere equipment in 2023. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AMPM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Well, early last year at Commodity Classic in Orlando, we had a chance to talk with Matt Olson of John Deere about the new lineup of precision ag equipment. From the domes that you see on top of the cabs to the displays to everything else, there was a complete revamp for the last year. Well, we caught back up with him this fall and talked to him about how the equipment performed and what they're looking forward to in 2024.
Talking right now with Matt Olson about precision agriculture here with John Deere. And Matt, we talked at Commodity Classic down in Orlando this year about all the new things we rolled out. We went down that whole line you had on display. What kind of things are you seeing, and what kind of response are you seeing from farmers on some of that equipment that's being used now?
Yeah, it's great to see you again, Dustin. It just seemed like yesterday we were in Orlando.
Right.
I think that was much better weather than we're seeing here, but we had a great harvest, and it's time that we have some winter and relax and get ready for 2024.
Exactly.
So when we look at that new precision ag system that we introduced, and you and I had a great conversation talking about the new display, the G5 display, the new Starfire 7000 with SFRTK, and then the modems that keep all this technology connected so we understand where everybody's at, what they're doing, make sure data is flowing to who needs it to be able to make those better decisions on the farm. So definitely an exciting year as customers are saying, I've had a good year, I want to continue to stay current with precision ag, I'm going to upgrade.
And we know that not every operation is the same. It's not a cookie cutter. So what kind of things are you recommending that farmers think about first if they're looking at upgrading or even delving deeper into the precision ag marketplace?
So Dustin, I think the first place to start is I want to make sure that I understand the needs of that farmer. You know, I'm not here to just sell technology for technology's sake. I want to get to know that farmer, understand what their goals, needs, challenges are, understand what equipment that they have. And then when I have that as an understanding, we can say, this is what I think we can do. Here's how we can add value on your farm and how we can really provide that return on investment. So that conversation is something that's really important and a great way for a customer and their John Deere dealer to work together to make sure that we're adding value on their farm, earning their business.
So obviously it was years ago when you started putting out the GPS and all that information on the cabs, and so you guys have been on the forefront of precision and technology upgrades, but now the market's getting flooded with different things. So what is it about John Deere's equipment that really stands out from the rest?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, Dustin. So we just celebrated 30 years of being in precision ag this past week.
30 years.
30 years. It's gone by fast, and we'll reflect on how the next 30 years are going to go, and it's going to go even faster. You know, when we look at our leadership position is that number one is that we're continuing to make the investment in building a complete system from start to finish delivered by John Deere. And so that really differentiates us in the marketplace because this system is designed by John Deere, all working together seamlessly. And we've been fortunate enough to get customers to come to John Deere technology because of that seamless experience that they get. I like to equate it to something that we're all really familiar with is Apple. We all have Apple phones, maybe even watches, Mac computers, and we know that that ecosystem works very seamlessly. And so that is one of the great values that we bring to Deere is not only a complete system, but how that system works together, because we all know one of the biggest challenges around adoption of technology is it easy to use? And it doesn't matter how much value can be created, if it's not easy to use, somebody's not going to adopt it. The second piece is, and I'd say this is as equally or even more important, is our John Deere dealers. Is that our John Deere dealers have been the ones that have helped customers understand what technology that they need and then bring that technology and implement it on their farm with the equipment that they have and make sure that they realize the value they've invested in. And that support that our dealers provide differentiates us not only on the equipment and the technology, but at working together.
And to what end has that been benefiting the farmers over these last 30 years with what they've been able to do with inputs and precision? How has that benefited?
You know, really when it comes down to it, Dustin, is that we've got to come back to dollars and cents. So we can come back and through the operations center, we can come in and we can actually help customers visualize how they reduced overlap, see how that machine is functioning properly. When they make an investment in a new piece of equipment, we can compare their old equipment to their new equipment and see how much more productive are they, how much fuel are they saving, how much shorter time are they getting their planting done, All of those things are ways that we can come back and quantify and make visible for the farmer the value that we create for them, because we know that if we're not delivering value to their bottom line, they're not going to stay with us, and they're staying with us because we provide that value.
All right, so if farmers want to get more information on what tools are out there or start that conversation on what's going to work best for them, where do they start?
As always, contact your local John Deere dealer.
All right, well, Matt, we thank you so much for taking the time to visit again today.
Thanks, Dustin. Great seeing you.
That again was Matt Olson of John Deere. Let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. Well, there's plenty of cloud cover, a few breaks of sunshine here and there, though, throughout the day. A little bit more chances of flurries off to our east throughout the day, but those will start to taper off. Of course, it's going to get a little cooler, but then again, ladies and gentlemen, it's January and we're above zero, so I guess we really can't complain a whole lot. Let's see what the next 24 hours has in store from the National Weather Service.
Well, as we take a look at the forecast today, again, we saw mostly cloudy skies, a few peaks of sun here and there across the state. There was more of a chance of flurries in the northeast, but that should taper off as the evening goes on. Highs today were in the low to mid-30s, even up to about 38 degrees. Now tonight, look for variably cloudy skies, but still mostly cloudy across much of the state. Flurries will diminish, and we'll see low temperatures anywhere from 15 to 22 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny to start the day in the west, mostly sunny in the east. Temperatures will range anywhere from the upper 20s to the mid-30s. Looking at the affiliate weather map for you, Cherokee tomorrow, partly sunny 29, Shenandoah partly sunny and 36, Des Moines partly sunny 33, Waterloo sunny and 32, Albia sunny and 34, and Clinton looks to be mostly sunny and 33 degrees.
For more detailed forecasts in your area, tune to your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been the Ag Weather Outlook. And with that, we're at the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and on our YouTube channel. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified each time we put out a new video product. Also, don't forget about our free market podcast coming to us from Google, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and Podbean. From the iARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Riley Smith, Andy Peterson, and Mark Magnuson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.